Donovan, just what's your major takeaway from this one? What you guys got to do better?
It's our aggressiveness, our force. I don't think was there tonight as a whole. Give credit where credit's due. We knew it was going to be a tough game. No team wants to go down 3-0. We were right there for the majority of the game, and then battle kind of got away in the fourth. So just things we can control. We give them credit. They protected home court.
What do you make of him scoring 14 in the fourth quarter and just the run he went on?
He's a shooter. And if you give a guy an open look, it started with the back screen where Jalen and I had a miscommunication. He gets open, and once you see one go in, it goes from there, right? So credit to him, credit to them. But, we got to be better, and we'll fix it.
Donovan, they spent a lot of time top blocking both you and James tonight. And I don't necessarily think they did that quite as frequently in the first two games. Just what did you think they did well in that area to make it effective on you guys?
I just don't think our force, we weren't forceful enough with it. Both of us feel like have seen top blocks before, but our force of coming off of it, I think was really the issue. And like I said, you give them credit for executing the game plan, but if we don't come out with that force right away, and even still, we're right there throughout the whole game, right? I think the force is the biggest thing.
Evan, what did you think was the issue defensively? They were able to get in the paint pretty frequently tonight. Obviously, they did hit a ton of threes, but what did you think was the biggest issue for you guys on that end of the floor?
Yeah, similar to what Don was saying. Just our force, we got to meet them early, not let them get into our paint as easy. They switched up some of their offense and some of the plays on how they were attacking, but I think we just had to be more active and more detail-oriented and knowing what's going on and attacking it with force. I think sometimes we knew what was going on, but we didn't necessarily take the action we needed to make the plays that we needed to make. But
Donovan, what do you guys have to do over the next 2 days to respond to this?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, one, not overreact, right? It's one loss. The sky isn't falling. I understand that we weren't going to go 16-0 if we're trying to achieve what we want to achieve. And you give credit where credit is due, and then we go back and fix it. And like I said, I think it really just starts with our force. Obviously, we'll go back and watch the game and figure things out, but tactically. But I think the biggest thing is, you acknowledge they protected home court, and then it's just how do we respond. That's my biggest thing, and we'll go back and look at it and figure it out.
Yes, thank you. You guys, Max Strus made some great shots, especially in the first half. How important is going to be him as a factor to take pressure of you, especially of you and James, moving forward?
I think he's key, but I think we have to do our job, getting guys involved as well. I think Max, Jalen, were missing other people, but those were the two that stood out. And even, myself, James, obviously Ev, right? We gotta, like I said, it starts with our force. If we're not forceful enough in getting guys looks, and they did their job tonight, but we as a collective did not. And it starts with us three, right? And I think we just got to be better and then go from there.
And also, just as a follow-up, you mentioned force, guys. Scottie Barnes played great today. What are some of the things that you have to consider to slow him down for ahead of next games?
I mean, he's forceful, a lot of energy, head of the snake. And I think for him, he made some shots, obviously, but like I said, they were just aggressive. Their aggressiveness, right? And I think we just didn't match that. And like I said, even that, we were still right there, and we didn't execute. So if we execute and match the aggression, then we'd be in good shape, but we didn't do that tonight as a whole.
Donovan, what did you think was the issue with the turnovers? You guys had 22 of them tonight. It was.
I hate to sound like a broken record, Danny, but I really think it's just a level of force. They came out protecting home court. They did not want to go down 3-0. It was very, nobody wants to do that, and they're not a team that would come out and allow that, right? They're not going to just let us come in here and they're going to make adjustments. They're going to, whether it's playing harder, whether it's top blocking, whether it's crashing no boards, sprinting in transition, whatever they decide to do, they did it with more force and aggression. And I think when you are, I don't want to say timid, but I think when you're, not as forceful as the home team, and then they start making shots and the crowd's behind them, you get the result you get. And I think that was the biggest thing.
Evan, from your perspective, what made Scottie so tough to stop tonight?
yeah, I think his aggressiveness, he kept getting downhill. I think he saw a few go through, and that made him confident. He had a home crowd behind him as well, and he just kept getting to his spots, and he felt comfortable. I feel like we got to do a better job of just making him feel uncomfortable and not letting him get to those spots, and kind of make him think about what he wants to do.
Evan, Colin Murray Boyles, what's he shown you as a rookie in this series, and especially tonight, and what do you have to do to kind of keep him bottled up a little more?
Yeah, you give credit where credit's due. He's playing very well right now. I mean, just making the little plays, whether that's not on the stat sheet, offensive rebounding, setting good screens, rolling. I think we got to pay a little bit more attention to him, but as a whole, we're going to keep our scheme and look over the film and see what we got to fix and adjust. And but I think, like Don was talking about, it's about a force and being aggressive from the jump, especially playing away in an away crowd.